continue reading from Compass to Fulfillment by Katsuo Namori. Let's see. And be ready to express appreciation in every situation. The prayer I learned on in my pilgrimage, which even as a child I can still remember, became the model for my faith and nurtured my spirit of gratitude. Reciting its words during good times or bad, for anyone or anything, fostered my spirit of gratitude and encouraged me to do what was right. Fortune and misfortune are like strands of the same rope, braided together that make up our lives. Therefore, we should always be grateful, whether our luck is good or bad, whether it is sunny or cloudy. We should remember to be thankful not only when fortune smiles upon us, but also when we are faced with great difficulties. Just being alive is something to be grateful for. Gratitude elevates the mind and is the first step towards creating a brighter future. Of course, being grateful during difficulties is easier said than done. It's next to impossible for someone to always be thankful, rain or shine. And it is especially difficult to welcome adversity as a test. We are much more likely to protest against the unfairness of fate and feel resentful for our hardships. That is human nature. We also do not automatically feel grateful when we are blessed with good fortune. In fact, we often take our blessings for granted or even greedily ask for more. Again, that is human nature. We forget the spirit of gratitude and consequently, happiness eludes us. We need to consciously program our rational minds to be grateful. When gratitude does not spring up naturally inside us, we need to impose it in our minds and prepare ourselves at all times to say, thank you. We must constantly and consciously prepare our hearts to be open receptacles for gratitude, to see tests and difficulties as opportunities to help us grow, to see good fortune as a gift that we must not waste. Gratitude arises from the state of contentment, not from discontent or lack of fulfillment. But what is contentment? Does contentment come from having plenty and discontent from not having enough? On a material level, the answer is yes. But what satisfies one person may not satisfy another. Some people feel content with very little, whereas others always want more, no matter how much they already have. Some people never stop complaining, whereas others are able to maintain a state of contentment no matter what their situation is. Obviously, gratitude depends on our state of mind and not on our material circumstances. No matter what our material situation is, if we are thankful, we can find contentment. So, Katsunemori gives us a great reminder of expressing gratitude, which I'm sure we have started doing or are already doing due to our practice. It's a wonderful reminder to continue to strive even in tough times, right? Or in times where we may be challenged. To continue to express gratitude is like the thread that we need to weave throughout our human experiences, which will keep us going or will keep us moving. It reminds me of a talk that I heard once by another person, if you've probably heard of her, Pema Chodron, who talks about fear and how fear is, well, the difference between fear and love, how fear is it initiates our movements, or it kind of wakes us up to recognize that something in our experience needs to change, but it's not necessarily conducive to growth. So what actually sustains us or what will move us is love, right? And gratitude can be a form of that. It roots or it branches out from love. So it stems from that. And how when we have gratitude or we express different forms of love, regardless of the situation, that's the thread that will keep us moving. And it's one that will sustain our growth. Whereas fear can initially move us, meaning it'll initially move us to take action or to do something, but it's not necessarily sustaining. It depletes us, right? The more we expand fear, or as I've probably shared with when learning about Dharma, the more we spread fear, right, we amplify it, it actually takes away from our mind, it takes away from our peace, it takes away from being able to stay open and receive, both give and receive love. So this is a great example of regardless, I mean, he calls it luck. I know we don't believe in luck, right? Regardless of if we have good fortune or misfortune, when we keep to gratitude or we keep um, or we consciously choose to stay in love rather than fear, it's the thread that pulls us through the experience, right? Of course, in this we trust that Buddha or the divine light is guiding us, right, in this path. So by consciously choosing love or to express gratitude regardless of the circumstances, in that moment we become closer and become more aligned to Amida Buddha. Especially when he shares gratitude arises from the state of contentment, not from discontent or lack of fulfillment. So if we're able to see our tests and difficulties as opportunities to help us grow, to see fortune as a gift that we must not waste. Oftentimes we can get caught up in wasting our gifts through focusing our energies or focusing our attentions in misfortunes and in difficulties and in tests rather than seeing them as learning opportunities, trusting and having hope that the more that we express that gratitude or the more that we choose love, that we choose to stay in love, the more that it's helping us to grow in this human experience so that we can continue to refine, as he mentions, our souls or our spirits and continue to walk towards that divine immeasurable light. So I trust that because we're in our meditation today and we're members listening to the Dharma, we're continually walking towards that path. And I thank you for being here. It is important to be reminded and be connected in our community so that we can support each other as we continue to have those tests that we can always reframe to see as growing opportunities. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a beautiful day and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you, Anya. Bye-bye.
Bye.